Are you ready? Like, what do you
I'm
mean?
ready.
Yeah, you're ready
SpongeBob,
nothing. Oh my gosh.
I'm here.
Yeah, I saw that.
Listen, we could have done this yesterday if your internet would have cooperated.
Yeah, we can do it right now if you weren't in such a bad mood, gosh.
I'm not in a bad mood.
Uh-huh. Starting off with that. Oh, sure. Before you hit record, you just yell at me all the time, and then you hit record like, tee hee, I've always been nice.
I
I see
don't
how it
yell at
is.
you.
Just gonna be nice for the audience. Okay, that's
Yeah,
cool.
okay. I don't yell at you.
Yeah. It's more like screaming, uninterrupted screaming.
Sure. I think we'd get kicked out of my apartment if we did that.
Oh yeah, it's your apartment. That's right. You already kicked me out. I see. I remember now. It's
Like
heartless all
I
the
was gonna say
time.
like our apartment, but then I was like, but like you're there, so you'd get kicked out of there and I'd get kicked out of here. There's no screaming though. We don't do that.
Yeah, not when the mics are going.
I just don't think couples should yell at each other unless it's, like, really, really serious, like, I don't
Yeah.
like it.
What do you mean? You could yell for fun. What if you play fight? All right.
Is that, like, a thing that people do?
Have fun with each other. I'm starting to think it's normal in other relationships, but I don't know about this one apparently. My bad.
I didn't mean it like that.
Is the outside world fun? I wouldn't know. They keep me locked in here.
Whale, hello, welcome
You
back
hear
to
that?
Mindless
You just
Prattle.
subtly insulted me, calling me a whale. I see it.
Look at
I
me
heard it.
doing the intro early on and everything.
Early on and everything. So proud. Episode 45, we nailed the intro sequence. All right.
Yeah. It's episode 45?
Oh my gosh. Yes, dear. What?
Dang, that's a lot.
One more than 44, which is the conversation we had last week.
Listen, my brain, it's like reset every day. Tabula rasa.
Was that the end of
So
the intro? I kind of interrupted it. So,
oh.
it's, you just,
This is our
you just stop.
podcast where if you like hearing people talk about nothing and everything, then you'll probably like it. Welcome back.
Nothing and everything. Yeah, I'm the everything part, and then the long silences in between. That's you. That's the nothing
Yeah.
part.
We talk about lots of things. There's not like a lot. I don't feel like we have a lot of silences anymore.
Yeah, that's because I edit them out. But yes, I see your
Oh, well,
point.
sometimes I just need a moment to think about what to say.
Your moments are very long, and
Listen,
it's
I don't know what to tell you. You don't like it when I say I'm dumb, but like I'm a little dumb. Like it takes me a minute.
it's not dumb to sit there and think. You just can't think quickly. That's not dumb.
Yeah, I just I need to process things. Okay, can we talk about books again?
No.
Well,
Oh, sorry. Was that not right? My improv teacher is not great. So I I
well,
got to go back for lesson 2 sometime. I think.
you read Fourth Wing, right? And we talked about it on the podcast a little while ago. And the next book comes out on Tuesday. It's called Iron Flame.
We did discuss this like a few weeks ago. You're like, yeah, it comes out like November 13th or 14th or some shit. And
Oh
I'm like,
yeah,
oh,
so it
okay.
comes out on Tuesday. Gonna read it.
What?
I've
You a book reading? No.
I have so many theories. I actually haven't been reading a lot.
Theories.
Like I
I
said,
have so many theories.
I'm supposed to be
Like
rereading
it's
the
a research topic.
I mean, yeah, like, I get really into it. It's like a TV show, like, you have theories about what's gonna happen or where the author's taking things.
Are those theories or that's just like like
Yeah,
you're trying
fan
to sound like
theories.
fan theories? I think it's just fan guessing. I don't think it's theories. Like
No, like, it's theories. You know that meme? I don't know what show it's from, but it's like that guy with the brown hair and a white shirt, and he's got the boards full of papers behind him, and he's, like, holding up a hand and circling things in red Sharpie, and he's like, "Oh."
is that the sound he makes?
It would be
I
if
don't
it
believe that.
made sound in a picture. Um, yeah, no, that's like what people who read a lot of books series are like, connecting things in the books. It's like conspiracy theories almost. But so it comes out on Tuesday, and, I'm gonna read it, and then I can give it to you so you can read it too. 'Cause I won't have
So
2
that
copies
was
of this
that
one.
was your way of saying you're gonna buy it, not you're gonna read it.
I pre-ordered it.
Right, okay. How much is a new book going for?
This one, I don't know.
How do you not know? What? You bought it, didn't you?
Yeah, but a few days ago.
Right, it wasn't a few years ago, it was a few days ago.
I don't know what you think about my memory, but, like, she does not work like that.
Maybe you should pay more attention to the things that, I don't know, you buy since you have a track record with money that is not, like, the best.
It was 18.42 for a hardcover. I got a 40% discount for Amazon Prime.
You bought, like, a physical copy of it?
Yeah. Since I
Oh,
have a
boy.
physical copy of the first one, I wanted this to be a physical copy too.
Oh, you have 2 physical copies of the first one because you kept asking people for it.
Okay. I didn't ask
Okay,
people.
what?
Listen, my friend gifted me one copy. I didn't know she was gonna do that. Like, I just said, like, "Oh, yeah, I won't be able to get it until this date." And then she said, "I sent it to you." And I was like, "What?" And she doesn't normally do things like
Yeah,
that, so I was pretty
you
surprised.
asked her for a book, that's what you
I
did.
did not ask her for the book, I
You
just was
did.
waiting to get it.
No, no, you definitely asked for it. You were like, "Oh, hell, a nice friend of mine, teehee, you have it? Oh, I can't get it yet. Ah, ha, ha, so
No, but
poor is me."
she doesn't do the stuff like that very often, but she'll do it, like, randomly, like, she'll be like, "Have you heard of this video game?" And I'm like, "Oh, no, what's it about?" And she'll explain, and I'm like, "Oh, that sounds great." And then I just get a Steam notification that she's, like, gifted me this game. Like, sometimes if she doesn't wanna play a game herself, but thinks it looks interesting, she'll get me the game so she can watch me play. And then she's like, "I don't think I want that." And I'm like, "Okay."
Like, that's great, but you already bought a copy of it, so
Yeah,
I don't
like,
know.
that's how I got that game Lemon Cake, where you run a little bakery and stuff. She got it for me. It was really cheap, like $5 or something. Um, but then we played it for a little while, and she goes, "Yeah, I don't like this game." I was like, "Well, thank you. I
Did
liked
you,
it."
did you ever play what the heck was that game called? The potion making game that was on Xbox for a little while?
No, I didn't. You told me about it, but I never played it. Why?
I was just reminded me of that. Like, I don't know if I've played it either, but I saw an ad for it the other day, and I didn't know if it was still on Games Pass or not.
I've had this problem lately, like, where I wanna play too many different games, so I just have been playing The Sims.
Yeah. Why don't you just put all the names on, like, a little wheel online and spin, and then it'll decide for you?
Oh, that's a good idea. But
Crazy.
I've been enjoying The Sims because I didn't play it for a few months, like a month or 2. I just kinda stopped playing it because it's my
How did you
Baldur's Gate.
survive?
Listen, but so I've been building a bunch of, like, ranches and cottages and things like that and uploading them to the gallery, and people are downloading them, and that's so exciting that people like what I build.
That is awesome.
So right now I'm building, like, a witch's farm, and it's got, like, round roofs, and I'll show you later, it looks really cool. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. What have you been playing?
Um, so I haven't played any video games in probably like 2.5, 3 weeks since I was up there. But actually, this morning I played the first like 2 missions of the Modern Warfare 2 campaign, which I've never played actually. So it was
Yeah, you've played a lot
nice.
of multiplayer, though.
Yeah, well, like I worked on the game for 9 months with Activision, and then I just never played the campaign while working for them. And then it came out, and it's been out for over a year now, and I still have never played the campaign until today. And I was like, yeah, I guess I'll give it a shot. And I
Okay,
played like the first 2 missions.
I tried to play the campaign, and then I had to ask my sister's husband to get past a part for me,
In olden times, they'd call that your brother-in-law,
my brother-in-law. Um,
his sister's husband.
can you guess what part it was? It was literally at the very beginning. Can you
Yeah,
guess
you
what it
told me
was?
it was like the flying part, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Which, by the way, is like a 12-second flight. Like, it's not long
I
at
literally
all.
died like 10 times in a row. Like, I'm so bad at flight controls, it's ridiculous. Like, my brain does not, like,
It's not the flight
compute.
controls, it's the way you play video games in general. If you have to move a stick, like one of the thumbsticks, and you have to do it subtly, you just can't comprehend it. I don't know why. You're just like full left or full right. You can't just do a
That's not
little tiny bit.
true.
It is true. I've
No, I
seen you play
played
games.
Skyrim.
that's not the same at all. That's very different. Like if you set the sensitivity to the same amount as like that controlling that missile, you'd be looking every which way all over the place. I've seen you play games.
Well, I don't know how to be anything else.
Yeah, it's called moving your thumb slightly instead of like fully to the side.
I do love them slightly.
Crazy. You do not.
So did you like it?
Yeah, I played, like you said, I played the first 2 or 3 missions. They
Oh,
were
was that a
good.
lot?
No, it's about like 45 minutes of the game, really. But I'm also playing on veteran, so I died like probably 10 or 15 times.
I really wanna play Call of Duty, but I wanna be able to talk to people and have fun, and it's like the moment you talk in a video game as a female, it just destroys your time. Like,
Destroys your time. Yep.
so, like, the other day, I was watching this video of this guy playing on TikTok, and he pretends to be a little kid, like, he uses a voice changer to sound like a little kid. And the guys are all so nice to him. They're like, "Yeah, little dude, like, we'll play," all this sort of stuff. And then I watch this girl who plays, and she'll just be like, "Hello." And the minute she speaks, it's like, "Oh, get in the kitchen, make me a sandwich," like all these sexist comments and stuff like that. And then her thing is like she's super, super good at the game. So she lets them talk their shit and everything, and then she just absolutely nails their asses. Um, and I would love to do that, except for like I'm not good at the game.
Yeah, you throw the sticks to every which way. I remember we just had this conversation. Talk about a throwback.
But yeah, like I wanna be her though, she's so great. Uh, I am not. I do
I
my
feel like
best.
you'd be better with mouse and keyboard.
Honestly, yeah, I feel like shooting is easy. Like there's certain games I find easier on controller, but then there's other things like anything that's like a shooter, I my aim is a little bit better with a mouse.
Yeah, because you can use your whole hand to aim instead of just your thumb. Like it's very different. It's much more control, crazily enough.
I just my dexterity isn't very good, honestly. Even at work, I've noticed like it's hard for me to grasp things sometimes. Like my hands get really
Okay, look.
stiff really easy.
SpongeBob already covered this. Like most of our lives, the answer can be found in SpongeBob, okay? This one comes from Patrick. Firmly grasp it. That's it. That's the whole advice. Just do that. I'm
Yeah, like I drop shit all the time and I'm like, I'm really not trying to, I stretch
gonna
a
tell your
lot.
manager. It's fine.
Yeah, get me in trouble. Oh. So you said you had a story to tell me like yesterday when I was going to get pizza.
Yeah, so I well the door handle on the hotel room that I'm in. You know how normally like hotel room doors like they swing shut because they're super heavy, right?
Mhm.
Not this one, which is just awesome by itself. But the door handle, like I don't know if the door is misaligned a tiny bit or whatnot, but I have to like yank the door closed in order for it to actually close and lock because it's just not lining up right. So every time I'm like, oh, close it. I have to make sure it's closed because otherwise it stays open. And then I leave and whatever. Well, they come and clean, during the day while I'm out or at work or wherever, and I come back and sometimes the door is left open. Like it's just a tiny bit, like it looks closed, but as soon as you touch it, it just swings open because it's not clicked shut. And this happened. This happened like twice, but it was twice in the span of like 4 or 5 months. So I wasn't really worried about it. I was like, they forgot to today, whatever. But the last 3 times they've cleaned my room in the last like week, all 3 times they've left the door open, and I have no idea how long it's been open because I was out of town Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and I came back Saturday and the door was open. And I'm like, if this door's been open since Thursday, it's been open for like if they cleaned Thursday, it's been open for 2 days.
Jeez.
So I was like, I don't know what they're doing anymore. So I went to the manager or like the owner, but both, I guess. I don't know what his official role is. And and I told him all this, and I was like, look, I don't know if the door handle needs to be replaced or it needs to be like reset or what, but like something needs to happen. And he comes over, he's like, oh, okay. And he opens the room and he pulls it shut and he's like, it closes. I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, yes, I know it closes. I wasn't telling you that your door doesn't close.
I'm sorry. Hold on.
He, yeah, he pulled it closes and he was like, it closes. And I'm like,
It closes.
thank you.
Yes. It does. That's not the problem.
I'm like, that would be very unfortunate if the door didn't close. I'm saying that you're I'm like I was
Your
like, "I know it
staff.
closes. I close it every day when I leave, but when they clean my room, they leave the door open." And he's like, "Oh, that's different." I'm like, "Yeah, that's different." And he's like, "Okay, I will make sure that they close it. I know when, your room's scheduled to be closed. I'll make sure that they start closing it." And I'm like, "Start? They should continue
They
to
should
close the
always be
doors."
closing it. You
Yeah,
gotta
I'm like, "What?"
understand.
So I was like, "All right, man, whatever you say."
And you have funnier stories than me.
I oh my gosh, speaking of doors, I don't know why I have 2 door stories, but I do.
Door weekend.
So I was, like I said, I was out of town, and, I had a little bit of time in between a couple of the meetings that I had to go to. So I was like, "I need to get an oil change. I'll just go over to Walmart real quick and get an oil change," you know?
Mhm.
But they have that door that leads from the Walmart out into, like, their bay area into the shop, and it locks from the inside or the outside. I don't know. So you can walk through it, like coming into Walmart, but in order to leave Walmart, someone has to buzz you out. I think it's to stop people from just like grabbing stuff off the shelf and like maybe walking out with it.
Yeah, I think they had a lot of theft
Um,
problems.
right. So the door you have to like hold, you walk over and tell the lady behind the counter, "Hey, can you let me out?" And then she just buzzes it and it opens. It lets you out. It's crazy. This guy I was sitting in the waiting area, waiting for my car to be done. This guy comes over to the door. He grabs the handle. He pulls on it. Obviously, it doesn't open. He stares at it in like disbelief that like the sheer audacity that a door would not open for him was just like a new concept to him, I swear. And he had to be in his like 50s, maybe six. Like he was an older guy. I could say 40s. He was like 40s to like 50s, right? He was
Okay.
an older gentleman and like pulled on the door, just utter disbelief that the door didn't open. He let go of the handle, like didn't try a second time, let go of the handle, stepped back, like did a whole pose where he put one arm across his chest and put another hand like on his chin, like he was thinking about why the door had disrespected him so. And then I don't know. This is all my thought. He's like, obviously the door's made a mistake. So he gets out of this pose, grabs the door handle again, pulls on it, still locked. He
Nice.
still locked, lets go of it. This time he folds both his arms like he's getting upset at the door for not opening.
Like,
Still hasn't said anything or looked away from the door and like nothing, like just staring at it and grabs the door handle a third time, tries pushing it. He tries pushing the door like he had gotten it wrong the first 2 times, and maybe it was him. He pushes it, obviously it doesn't go anywhere. He's like, "Oh, nope, it's pulled." So he pulls it a third time. It's still locked. So now he's holding onto this handle, staring at this door, and he just thought, "You know what would make it better? If I jiggled it." So then he's just jiggling the door like back and forth, like hoping it'd come unstuck. And I was like, "It's not stuck on anything, sir. I don't know what's going on in your head right now, but it was amazing." So then
you always get to witness funny things like this.
I don't know what was happening. I was just sitting there staring like, "Sir, do you not know?" Like, and so then he finally lets go of the door handle. He's been there for, I don't know, like solid 30, 40 seconds at this point, just like fucking with this door. He turns to me and he like scoffs. He's like, "Oh, what?" Like he didn't believe that was I seeing this? I was like, "Yeah, it's crazy, man. Yeah, it wouldn't open." Yeah. And so I was going along with it. I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know what's up with that door." And then he looked over, and just as he looked over, the worker came out of like the back room. She's like, "Oh, I can let you out." And she hit like a button, but he didn't realize that she had hit a button. He thought that she meant she was going to come over and open the door for him. So he stood like he got out of the way so she could open the door for him, but she walked the opposite direction to push the buzzer. And now he's just standing out of the way of the door without her there. And he's staring at the door, like waiting for her to get there. And he turns back, realizes she's walked the other way, and then raises his hands like he doesn't know where she's going and like starts to yell. And then he hears the buzzer from the door and like slowly lowers his hands and just opens the door and leaves. And I was like, all right, man, that was amazing.
Oh my god.
Like he almost yelled at her for
People
walking
in the
away.
wild.
He was about to yell at her for walking away when she said she was opening the door for him. I I
Walmart
was
people
trying
really are a
so
different breed,
hard.
man.
He was wearing like a three-piece suit. Like I don't know what he was doing in Walmart. He looked so out of place. But I I was like, man, you have never like opened it. It's really seemed like that was his first time in a Walmart and he couldn't comprehend why he couldn't get out. It was amazing. Oh,
My stories are always usually just, like, depressing, like, the things my customers do and say are just like, "Wow, that's not a funny story for the podcast, that's more of like a holy."
I think you got to go out more or do more stuff or just look for the funny parts of life. So I went to well, same place while I was out of town. I went to this restaurant and I was like, I looked online, beforehand at their menu because I was like, yeah, I'll just go in, grab some food and head out, you know. And so I got there and the guy hands me the menu and like your worst nightmare happens, right?
What?
We got there and the menu was completely different. And I was like,
My
this
god,
is
I
a
hate
very
that.
different menu. Yeah, I was looking at it and he's like, what do you want? And I was like, we'll start with a beer, I guess, because I need time to look over whatever this menu is. And I started looking at it. Some things were still on there from the website, some things weren't. But the part that really interested me was uh, the prices were different from what the menu was online. And I pulled up their menu online just to confirm, but the prices on the menu that he gave me were lower than the prices online. And I was like, hmm. Like it's usually the other way around where
Yeah,
they're
that's
like a dollar
interesting.
or two more. Yeah, it was like a dollar less on like most of the items on the menu. I was like, huh, that's pretty cool. So I thought that was interesting.
What were your, like, favorite games to play when you were, like, in elementary school? Like, what'd you like?
Going outside? What do you mean?
Oh, did you not play games in elementary school?
In elementary school, like on like PlayStation 2, I played like Crash Bandicoot and some fucking what was that? Twisted Metal was pretty fun. The driving game. You ever play that?
Yeah, my sister said I have. She was asking me about it, like, around when we went to breakfast with my parents and stuff. She's like, "Remember we used to play that all the time?" I was like, "I don't," but I
I
remember.
think they made a movie on it or a TV show, one of the two, or it was based on that. I don't know. I can't remember.
But we played a few different racing games, so they all kind of blur together.
Yeah, I
Um,
remember playing Need for Speed. We played. We had some golf games that we played a lot.
do you play any PC games?
No, we played what? Like Roller Coaster Tycoon was a big one that we played, but that's pretty much it for
I was a Zoo
PC.
Tycoon person. Uh, it came in like a 4 disc box set thing, like CDs for those of you who are too young to know what that means.
Sorry, I
You're fine.
wrote back. Did you know that the guy who made Roller Coaster Tycoon, one person made it, like he designed and coded the entire thing himself?
Really?
Yeah,
He's the
and
concerned
it
ape of the 90s.
and it well, he wrote it in like a language that hardly anyone used, and so when he wrote the whole thing out, it had like super low, like no, almost no bugs in it because he had written the entire thing out like in a specific language that is like difficult to use but works really well.
Nice.
So it still holds up. If you go back and play it, you can still play the original Roller Coaster Tycoon games. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then I played a lot of Zoo Tycoon, and then I had the extra disc that, gave you the dinosaurs. That's why I was so happy when Jurassic World came out. I was like, "I just fucking love dinosaurs, man."
The first Jurassic World game was good. It had a story. There was like effect, like missions and goals and stuff. The second game with Jurassic Kingdom, the second one, it is not great. Like
It really annoyed me because I felt like
campaign
every
missions were
story
like
mission.
5 minutes. Yeah,
Yeah, it was like every time you finally got into a good groove and you got the park working well, they were like, "Okay, time for the next one." Whereas in the
yeah.
first
Like
one, you could choose when you got to progress.
well, the first one, it was like, hey, you have a series of issues going on with this park. You need to build up the entire park. But in the second one, they were like, oh, hey, you're at a remote research station. 5 of their dinosaurs got loose. And you would collect those 5 and put them in a new environment. And it was like, great, you've solved this park's like crisis. And you're like, I captured 5 dinosaurs. And then it would move you on to the next location. You're like, so I did nothing there. Like there was nothing that happened, you know?
Yeah, there were a few gameplay improvements and, like, a few menu things I liked that they changed, but
There
other
was
than
new
that,
s
like, it didn't really
Yeah.
pull me in the same way.
No, there was new stuff, and the new stuff was cool, but the entire campaign felt like a tutorial. Like, it didn't feel like a campaign at all, and then it was like, "Congratulations, you finished the campaign, now go to sandbox mode," and you're like, "Cool," but sandbox mode has, like, almost no challenges to it. You're just taking all of the tutorial that you learned slash campaign and putting it into, like, a free open world. I'm like, "Alright, I
I feel like
guess."
so many games are doing this now where they release a game with, like, very basic features, and then, like, if you want more fun, advanced gameplay, you have to, like, pay for the DLC.
Yeah. Did you see that what is it, Modern Warfare 3's campaign that they released? It's only 4 hours long.
That's pretty short for a
Yeah, it's very short. I don't know why it was so short. I was like, I don't know. See, I haven't been paying attention to it. I don't know if that was like they released part of the campaign or if they actually released the whole campaign or what the story is with it. But if that's the whole campaign, I don't know who thought a 4 hour campaign in today's day and age would be a good plan to release.
Did you see, Bungie, it, like, just laid off a ton of people?
Yeah, I'm the one that told you that. We were on
Oh,
the phone. Yeah, they fired him on, like, October 30th, so all their benefits ran out the next day because their policies, it goes through the end of the month no matter when you're fired during a month.
yeah.
So
Well,
everybody had, like, a day left of their coverage and policies and stuff.
I saw, like, because of this, they fired, like, half of the Destiny team apparently, and
Yeah, they
I
got rid of a lot.
including, like, the original music composer who's, like, composed all of the music for the games.
Yep,
Which,
they
like,
got
that
rid of a
guy's
bunch
fucking
of people.
epic, he's a legend, like, the music in that game is beautiful, like, what are they doing?
The music is arguably the best part of it because all of their assets get reused, all the missions, like, the storylines are almost the same. So, like, the music was the only, like, original piece. The music and, like, the color scheme of new DLCs was the only thing that was original.
So everybody's like, "What does this mean for the final shape?" Like,
Yeah, hopefully he's already finished composing that and then they fired him, I don't know. From a game point wise, it'd be fine, but
yeah.
I
I
don't
feel like
yeah.
I feel like they thought dropping Activision would be, like, a good thing, and it just seems like they've gone downhill.
Who?
Bungie.
Bungie dropping Activision?
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, Sony owns Bungie now. Like Sony is the one that they were blaming Sony for like firing those all those people, and then like Bungie had to release like Sony had to release a statement, and Bungie were like, no, Sony had nothing to do with this. Like they
Yeah.
didn't direct this at all. Like why would Sony buy a company and then and then get rid of its best employees? You know?
Yeah, and then, also, there's so much going on. Did you see Disney bought Hulu?
Yeah, I'm not super excited about that. I mean,
I'm
all
not
it means
either.
is all of these streaming platforms are gonna, like, try and consolidate again, and then there's gonna be you have to pay, like, 5 or $8 a month, and you'll still have ads, or you can pay, like, 20 a month and not have ads, and you're like,
Well,
"Oh,
almost
yay,
everything has
thanks."
ads now. Like Peacock, I swear, like I have the no ads plan, but almost every single thing I watch on there comes with ads. And then HBO Max, it's like the same thing. And they say it's because of
Well,
streaming rights
even
and shit. And it's like, well, then why am I paying extra money for no ads if all of your content has ads?
yeah, and even, like, Amazon Prime or even Hulu, if you scroll through Hulu or Amazon Prime and some things you're like, "Oh, I wanna see that movie," and you click on it, and it's like, "Oh, you can only watch this if you have the HBO Stars add-on to
Yeah.
Hulu," and I'm like, "What? That's just a cable package at that point. Why don't I just buy cable and put all
No,
these on there?" Like, what?
literally. It's becoming cable again. And it's
Yeah,
like,
you're
if
like,
I was
"Oh,
only
crazy,
using one
thanks."
specific service, like if we were only using Hulu, I might pay for the better package because then you get all those extra channels. But like, we have like 3 or 4 different ones. Like it's not really worth it to like pay 35
No,
for
we
one.
I need to consolidate my subscriptions each month. I think I have too many already. Like, I think I'm still paying for the Minecraft server even though we haven't been on there in a while.
Oh yeah. I got
Um,
rid of my Sims resource subscription.
yeah, I need to look through. I could probably do that today. Look through and see what subscriptions I'm using and which ones I'm not using.
I'm debating getting rid of my Kindle Unlimited subscription. I haven't used it as much this year as I did last year.
No, and I only used it for like the first 4 or 5 months of this year, so
Yeah, it's like most of the books that I, like, really like aren't on Kindle Unlimited, but I do find a lot of
right,
indie
right.
authors through there, so I'm like, I don't know, because when I do read it, like, I'm tearing through, like, 10 books a month at least, so
Yeah, and I don't know. I've got the Xbox subscription, which I'll still keep, but I don't know if I still have like I have an Adobe subscription, I think.
Oh,
But
really?
we had do we have Netflix? We don't have Netflix, but we
No, we
have
don't.
Disney and Hulu and
That's bundled together though.
yeah, we have what else? The Crunchyroll subscription. I'll keep that. Um I know Minecraft is on there. Like I have a couple different ones that I'm like, I don't know if that I'm ever gonna use some of those, you know?
Yeah, I use my Canva subscription pretty frequently. I use it for work and personal stuff.
Oh, that's good. I don't think I have a Canva one.
Yeah, like I said, you can use mine if you ever want to. I used it to
Yeah,
make my bridesmaids invitations. I've used it to make flyers for work or little graphics for my team and stuff. Like, it's actually really useful. I love Canva.
nice. Oh, I should be getting a package today as well.
Oh, it said the wax stamp seal thing's gonna be here today.
Oh, good.
Guess I'll have to finish the rest of them and then get them out on Monday or Tuesday.
You
But okay, so I saw on Reddit, someone in the Austin subreddit said that UPS worker told them that um somebody stole like a bunch of the keys to like the drop boxes around town. So they were like warning people not to drop your mail into the mail
nah,
drop
just go to the
boxes.
post office. It's closer anyway.
Yeah, so I'll probably go to the post office by my work and get stamps and send them all off.
You sounds
Like a
good.
stretch. I love stretching. I don't know how you feel, but I think stretching is awesome. Like it just makes
Every
my
time I
joints feel
stretch,
so
I
much
just
better.
like crack everywhere, and I'm like, oh.
Oh, really? It's like it releases all this tension in my muscles. I think it's because I hold a lot of anxiety in my shoulders and back. So then, like, I stretch and it kind of relieves some of it. I still want a full body massage. I've never had one.
You say that a lot, but I don't know. I mean, I think it'd be nice eventually, but it's not like my top priority of things to buy right
Yeah.
now. You know.
They're expensive, and I don't know about strangers touching me. That part's like a little.
Well, I'm not getting trained to do it, so
I barely pedicures are pretty awkward for me. I don't know about a massage like that. But
yeah, you'll be fine.
I'm trying to think. I don't really have that many stories. Like my week was just filled with work. It was exhausting. I've been so tired. My brain is tired. My body is tired. Like it was only 47 hours, so it wasn't like crazy amount of overtime. It was just like really long days, you know?
Yeah. Oh, that same restaurant I was at that had the price changes.
Mhm.
I was sitting at the bar, and this this woman was sitting with two guys, and she was sitting in between them, and they were all like dressed up really nicely, like they were all on a date or something. And I was like,
Mm.
all right, whatever dynamic you got going on, go for it. So
Volatile.
all three of them had, you know, like wine and cocktails and whatnot. And then a second woman showed up, and I was like, oh, that makes more sense. Sure, why not? And she was also dressed up. And then instead of just sitting like on the outside of where these two guys were, the girl in the middle stood up, walked around to the outside, and sat down and like took her drink with her. And then second girl that got there late, she walked and sat down in the middle of the two guys. And I was like,
Hmm.
what dynamic just happened? I don't know. Anyway, that's not the fun part of the story. So they both sat down, and girl number one earlier in the evening had gotten some water, right? Water,
Mhm.
and then there was a water next to her and like a glass of wine or a cocktail or something. I don't remember what it was, but like she had the water, right? So girl number two sat down, like basically kicked girl number one out of her spot and sat there. Like pretty much like she came in, tapped her on the shoulder, like hugged all three of them, and then like girl number one got up and moved out of her way. Like, I don't know, sure. And so the bartender came over and you know was like, hey, what can I get you, you know, welcome in, blah blah blah. And girl number two was like, oh, I'll have this cocktail, and then can I get water as well, you know. But as the bartender was like, yeah, sure, you got it, and he started to turn around, and she goes, hold on. And he's like, what's up, you need something else? And she's like, no no no, I need bottled water. And so the guy's like, okay. And then girl number one's like, oh yeah, bottled water for me too. And I was like, what? Okay. So the guy turns around, tells somebody else to go grab 2 bottled waters because he doesn't have any at the bar. He's making the cocktail, brings it out, and then comes back with 2 bottles of water and sets it down in front of both these girls. And then girl number 1, like, takes the glass of water that she was drinking out of earlier and was like, just like pushed it off to the side, like out of view, and like hid it behind like a menu that was standing up, and then started drinking the bottled water. And I was like, oh, is bottled water, is tap water too not good enough for you once friend number 2 shows up? Like, what are we trying to do here? It was very awkward for her the whole time, like trying to hide this water from her friend. I'm like, what is happening here?
Yeah, I wonder what they were doing.
I don't
Maybe they
know.
were
She looked
working
like,
girls?
well, she looked like she was ashamed to like have tap water when girl number 2 ordered bottled water. It was very weird.
It's
I'm like,
basically the same thing.
okay. Yeah, I don't know.
As long as they're cold, you can't usually taste a difference too.
I don't know. I thought it was very interesting, and I was just kind of watching that whole thing unfold, and I'm like, I mean, go for it, I guess. I just don't. I just didn't know. Like, I have so many questions. Like, why did you move out of the way for the girl when it was going to be the same seating arrangement, no matter which one of you sat where? Why did you hide your tap water all of a sudden? Like, was it not good enough for you? Like, it
Yeah.
was very.
I'm always intrigued by what people choose to do in public. Like, would you ever break up with me in a Starbucks? Like that would that be your choice of place if you were like, "I'm gonna end our
Oh,
relationship," like,
probably.
at a
Um,
Starbucks?
Here's why. See, because you're already in Starbucks a lot, so it'd be easy to get you there, right? Starbucks is pretty public, so I don't have to worry about you screaming too much. I can just give you some coffee and be like, "They're there," and then leave. And uh, I don't like Starbucks anyway. So if I break up with someone there and have like a bad memory at Starbucks, it's not going to impact my life, like my routine, because I just don't go to Starbucks anyway. So yeah, why do you ask?
'Cause I've seen so many people, like, dump each other in a Starbucks, and it's so fucking awkward for the staff, like, because, like, people act differently when they're upset, so we'll notice when they're having, like, an intense conversation, and it's like they'll break up with each other, and then they just sit there, like, together, silently, staring into the void, and then one of them will leave silently after a little while, and then the
Yeah,
other one's
like,
just sitting there crying,
you would
and then you give
imagine if
them a free
you,
tea, and you're like,
yeah,
"I'm so sorry that happened."
that's another great reason to do that is do it there is because like there's risk at the apartment or something. You might break something. Like, I don't want to push you out of the
Why would I
apartment,
break
but like,
something?
should I know you look, you might break something. It's crazy. You might be throwing things. Like, I gotta hide things on top shelves. Anyway,
When have I thrown things at
and
you?
yeah, okay. And you just throwing them fists around all the time. I get it, but
Okay.
whatever.
Mhm.
But that's great too, because like you're already working at the Starbucks, so I wouldn't have to worry about how you're getting back to wherever you're getting. Like, if we both go to Starbucks together or to a restaurant and then I break up with you, you could be like, oh shoot, now she's got to call a cab or something. But if you're already at the Starbucks, you can drive yourself. See ya.
Speaking of Starbucks, people are going fucking feral. So, the holiday launch was this week, and Starbucks did this, collab with Stanley Cups and made these, like, 44-ounce stainless steel red cups that are, like, heavy duty, keep things cold forever, like, $50 cups, nice cups. People are going insane for them. They're calling and harassing stores and, like, demanding to know why they sold them before that they got there. Um, and then people are reselling them on eBay and stuff for, like, $200. Like, who is paying $200 for a
Dang, I
Stanley
need to
Cup?
get some of these. How much you selling them for?
I don't sell them. I could lose my job for that. It's in our,
No,
like,
no, no. Like, how much is the store selling them for? Not you
oh,
personally.
it's $50 for a cup for
It's
that
$50
for
for a
that
cup.
specific one because it's a
Oh my
Stanley, yeah.
gosh, I'll take 4. What, that's
We don't
800
even
bucks
have
right
any in
there.
stock, like, they sold
Well,
out the day we got them.
what's the point of having an inside man at Starbucks if you're not gonna hold some cups for me that I can resell?
So I don't get fired?
Ugh, you and your ethics.
Yeah.
This is why we're breaking up in a Starbucks.
No, we're not breaking up. You're stuck with me.
Okay, this is why we would have broken up in a Starbucks if you didn't steal that ring from me.
I don't know. I just feel like I feel there's probably not really a great place to dump someone, but I feel like I would prefer a private place,
A private?
not
No.
Starbucks.
Nah, public places are way better. Depends on the type of person. Because if you're dating the type of person that like yells and gets like all crazy but cares about public appearances, hell yeah, go to a Starbucks, go to a Trader Joe's. Oh man, you can never shop at that Trader Joe's again. Like
No. God.
just walking down the aisle and be like, "Do you like Trader Joe's pumpkin bread or pumpkin biscuits?" And they're like, "It's the same thing." And be like, "Well, I don't love you anymore, or Margaret." And then you just walk out,
You know
and
what?
and
Still
then they
better than
can't
Joe
say
Jonas.
anything. You're right.
I never really looked into his dating history. I knew he had dated Taylor Swift and dumped her in a 27-second phone call. But then
I like that you know the amount of seconds. Like, why does that is that
'cause there's a
relevant?
famous interview she
Like,
gave. She was, like, 18 at the time, so she gave this really sassy interview about it, and then she was like, "Yeah, when I'm, older, I'm not even gonna remember the boy who dumped me on the phone in 27 seconds." And it became a bit of a meme. She used to be very,
yeah,
like,
but she looked it up how long the phone call was. Like, she had to. It doesn't tell you unless you're staring at the phone.
but, I feel like since he divorced Sophie Turner, a bunch of articles have come out about his dating history, and it's like he had his dad call and break up with one of them. One of them, he didn't even the Sophie Turner, he didn't even dump her. She found out through social media that he was filing for divorce. Like, the man has never broken up with a woman in person.
Yeah, yeah, that's boy, that's fun.
But yeah, I don't know. I want a new computer. Can't afford a new computer. We gotta get swords.
Yeah. So when are you buying me a sword?
I guess next paycheck.
You guess next paycheck. When is that happening? When do you get paid?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Ugh. What if all the swords are gone by then?
Do you
All
wanna
the swords will have grown up and left the nest,
put
okay?
a down
They
payment
will
on
not
them?
they will not be coming back. Huh?
Do you wanna put a down payment on them?
Nah.
So we picked out swords yesterday for our wedding.
Oh, is that what we're talking about?
Ooh, it's
Oh,
got snakes on it.
I thought we were using euphemisms. That's fine. So yeah. It's yeah, swords and snakes. Yep, yep. I'm on board
Okay,
now.
sorry, I know I keep changing topics, but I got really annoyed yesterday because I was installing Sims mods and I heard of this ultraviolence mod where you can murder Sims, and I saw it in a video. And this lady, like, married this guy and, like no, her sim got pregnant by another sim, and then he asked her if he could move in with her, and then he turns around and he's an older sim, and he, like, pretends his back is hurting, and he just turns around and, like, murders the other sim, and I was like, "That sounds like it'd be makes for some really funny situations." So I went and installed it, and then it didn't work, and I had to do a Google deep dive to find out on Reddit that, um, they haven't updated their mods in a while, and they're not supported currently, so they just don't work, so they said to uninstall all of it, but they can't find any other violent mods.
Do you need a violent mod? It's The Sims.
I just think it would be fun.
Yeah, but remember at the beginning of this podcast where you were like, "I don't yell, I don't scream, I don't break things, but I'd like to murder all these Sims." Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that sounds like a real
I played
helpful.
The Sims 2 in elementary school, and I used to be that kid who would, like, drown their Sims in the pool or, like, lock them in rooms and see what would happen, you know?
You know, your image as the innocent one in this relationship is going downhill quickly.
I mean,
Like,
I would
all
never
my
do things like that in
claims
real life.
suddenly validated. Yeah, okay. No, officer, I would never murder him. Those drawings, no, those are just imaginative drawings.
I
Yeah.
don't think I could murder someone. Like, unless it was, like, self-defense, like, my life is at in risk, I don't and even then, I think it would be really hard for me.
Mhm.
I don't wanna hurt
Mhm.
people.
Yep, you just keep putting on the innocent act. Meanwhile, you're Googling how to get Sims murdered and trying to
Okay,
find out what video games are most
sometimes
violent.
sometimes I Google things for my book that I'm like, "This is gonna get me put on, like, an FBI list somewhere."
You're like, does borax contain chemicals that kill? And you're like, whoa, hold on now.
Yeah, like, how long does it take to bleed out from this type of wound? Like, what does this look like when you murder like, that sort of stuff like that, and I'm like, "Hmm, a little sus."
What does it sound like when a body falls down the stairs and then your neighbor comes out and you have to push? They fell down the stairs too.
You know what true crime case I can't stop thinking about, like, ever since I watched the documentary about it a few years ago, is the staircase guy. Have I told you about the staircase?
Ooh, no, but he has a terrible name.
Okay, so here's the thing. This man, I can't remember the dates of everything, but first, he murdered, like, his neighbor or something in Germany. Like, the German cops did nothing, said she fell down the stairs. It was very suspicious, but, like, there was no other evidence. Years later, in America, he calls 911 after claiming that his wife was attacked by an owl and fell down the stairs. When the cops get there,
An
it's like one of those
owl?
stairs.
What?
Yeah, because they lived in the countryside. They said their stairs were like those stairs with like a little landing in the middle, so it like goes down, there's a little landing, and then it goes down again. Um, and when the police got there, like these stairs were like soaked in blood, like completely soaked, like splatter all up the wall and stuff. And it's like, yeah, okay, an owl could do that kind of damage. And with his history, it's like, okay, this guy like killed his wife, and then the running theory is that his son helped him cover it up because their older son was there and he didn't want his dad to go to jail. But this man was acquitted of all charges and didn't go to prison. And it's like he 100% murdered two people and got away with it. What the?
Yeah, but as far as killer, like 2 people, yeah, not like a high record. I mean, there's way more
I feel
stairs
like
in the world, so
more than zero is too many.
I feel like you could get away with 1. 2, you're like pushing your luck, you know? But if you get away with 2, it's like winning at the casino. Just stop there and you'll be alright.
I don't know, man. Just don't kill people. That's our official PSA. Don't kill people.
See, if you don't kill people, then the world gets too many people in it, though. So I don't think the official stance is don't kill people. I think the official stance is look at the circumstances.
The birth rate around the world has fallen, actually. Because, I mean, look
I
at
know.
everything.
That's why we need less people. Less people, more resources. Be all right.
Ooh, Jordan is now following me on Duolingo.
That was several hours ago. I'm glad you're
It
just
just
now looking at your phone.
no, it gave me the notification on my phone earlier, but it just sent me an email about it now.
An email about it, which is also very creepy because, okay, the button says add friend and you click it and it just says you are now following so and so. And I'm like, does that mean we're friends? Is that creepy? And then I get a notification that was like, Ripley is now following you. And I was like, is that friend? Does that mean friend? Does that not like, what does that mean? Like, what, for an app that only specializes in teaching languages, they have a poor choice in words. Okay. I
You know,
don't understand it.
I saw this, little video of the guy who made Duolingo talking about how they like to make really aggressive notifications, to get people to learn the language that make people feel bad. Um, and he said he learned it from addictive video games, but I guess it spawned like a whole thing about a whole meme about the Duolingo owl.
Yeah,
Um,
the owl's like a murderer. Yeah, I remember
yeah.
that.
And I mean, sometimes honestly, the notifications I get do make me feel bad. Like every time I get a notification from Duolingo, I'm like, okay, I guess I'll log in and do my little language thing for today because you made
Yeah,
me feel
sometimes it's
stupid.
like it'd be a shame if you dropped out of 7th and had to go back down to Sapphire League, and I'm like, "Oh, it
Or
would be a
like one of them
shame."
is like,
Anyway.
oh, we see you've been ignoring these notifications for a while. We'll stop sending them.
Yeah, I've seen that. There's a bunch of, like, personal fitness apps that do that too. If you don't, like, log in or open the app within, like, 2 or 3 days, it's like, "We're just gonna stop talking to you. It's fine."
Like, I'm sorry, I've been busy. I did do 5 minutes of Japanese today, though. I'm
Nice.
wrapping up this chapter.
This chapter? What chapter?
Like the food chapter, the first like
Oh,
video.
oh, I see what you're saying. I thought you were transitioning back to a book. I'm like, "Okay."
No, 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 no. Yeah, they call it like chapters, I think, in Duolingo. But it had me do a little quiz today, and it said that I was ending that section, I guess. So now you know what? It has made it a little easier to understand anime though, but it makes me more annoyed now because sometimes I can notice when they're not directly translating things, and I'm like,
Why
why?
would they directly translate things? They have to translate it in, like, context, otherwise it doesn't make any sense.
Well, something small like this person was like, "Oh, I have dinner ready," but they like what she actually said was like she said something about like the rice is ready, um, and just something so small that I was like, "That's such just an easy thing to translate."
Yeah, but it doesn't change the impact on the like, the story overall, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
if
I
someone
know. I
says,
just
"I
think,
have
like,
dinner ready," or "I have rice ready," you'd be like, "Okay."
yeah, like, it doesn't really make a difference. I just think that you should try to translate things as closely as possible to get the original meaning across. It's not like most animes aren't that bad, but I have seen a lot of natural Japanese speakers say that watching, like, a Japanese version and watching the English version, sometimes they'll change things and it makes it mean something completely different.
If you're talking about between, like, the subtitles and, like, the English, like, dubbed version, then yeah, that is completely different. Like, they change a lot of shit in the dubbed version of most things, but the actual subtitles I feel like aren't ever, like, terribly off, you know?
What have you been watching lately for anime?
Nothing really. I've been watching that show with you.
Yeah, but I can't watch the next
Uh,
episode till I see you again.
yeah, we watched what, episode 4, and then I think 5 came out last Sunday, and 6 comes out this Sunday. So we'll watch those the next week or sometime. I don't know.
I haven't been watching TV shows on my own. I've just been watching a lot of scary movies. And then I know I've talked about shark movies before. I love shark movies. I don't know why. I've just always loved shark movies. It's ever since I was a kid. Sharks and dinosaurs. Gotta love them. But so I watched the Meg 2 yesterday. It's called the Meg 2 The Trench. And it's for a sequel, it was so much better than I expected it to be. Like, they just had a lot of funny little one-liners that made me, like, laugh out loud unexpectedly. Um, so if you're in the mood for, like, a cheesy action flick where Jason Statham does impossible things, um, it's a good movie to watch. And you know what, though? It's so crazy to me watching these shows and movies where we have all this technology and they're like, we can go 6,000, meters under the ocean and all this shit, and then in real life, people are blowing up in submarines. It's kind of crazy.
Okay, but that submarine was not like a submarine. Oh, you're like the pictures of it, the specs of it, like they didn't actually test anything, and it was barely like a functioning like tube.
That is
Like
true,
it
that
was not a
it was not
submarine
rated to
by
go
any
down
standards.
at that where it did at all. What's, like,
Yeah,
the
it was not.
deepest what I don't know, transportation, submarine, whatever, what's the deepest we can go with what?
I'm googling it. It takes
Oh,
a
okay.
second.
No, that's
Uh,
okay, I
the
just wanna make sure, like, I was asking that the right way.
the deepest anyone's ever gone in the ocean is 35,853 feet, or just under 11,000 meters. This record was set by explorer and businessman Victor Vescovo in May of 2019 when he descended to the Challenger Deep at the southern end of the Mariana Trench in the Pacific Ocean.
Are there
Um,
are
he
there,
also
like,
became the first
robots that can go
person
deeper?
to reach the bottom of the Molly Trench in the Arctic Ocean.
Damn, pretty cool dude. Yeah, there were dinosaurs in this Meg.
Let me see what this article's about. Reaches bottom. He reached the bottom of the trench. Hmm.
Damn. Did you see the super ocean they discovered under the Earth's crust?
Discovered under the Earth's crust. I don't know about
Yeah,
discovered.
it's not like a water ocean. I can't remember what they said it described it as, but it's like a super ocean underneath our thing. And then I saw another thing where they think that apparently I never knew this. I don't know if you knew this, but I guess our moon was formed when this planet called Theia collided with the Earth, and chunks of it made the moon. And
Right, right.
now they're saying they think they found pieces of this other planet inside the Earth, like
Yeah, I would suspect there's some there. But that's cool that they found some.
like really
But there,
giant, like mountain
underneath the
ranges and
Earth's crust
shit.
has always been an ocean. There's layers to the Earth. That's how we have layers. We're like an onion.
Let me see if I can find some information about it. Because I just started
So
thinking about it suddenly.
I
What were you
just
gonna say?
found
Sorry.
this. I just found this article that is the 31 most hard to pronounce words in the English language.
Oh yeah, what are they? Can you
There,
pronounce them?
this one is anathema. Excuse me, I choked in there. Anathema. There's no descriptions with these, which is upsetting to me.
Is it anathema? I thought it was anathema.
This one says anathema.
Hmm.
Let's see. What's the next one? Anemone. Like a sea anemone.
Anemone.
This one's Antarctic.
I found the same thing you're looking at because I want to see if I can say them too.
Anti-disestablishmentarianism.
I think most
Why
people know how to
is-
say that because
why
that
is-
commercial.
yeah. What else we have? Asterisk. I don't know that that one's super difficult. Brewery. I could see how brewery is hard to pronounce for some people. Uh,
Cavalry.
cavalry. Yep.
Comfortable's
Comfortable.
hard to say?
I guess. Defibrillator. I like that they pronounce them out. Deteriorate. I
Yeah, I
don't
can
think
see
that
that.
one's
The
explicit.
deteriorate part is
Mhm.
probably hard for a lot of people.
Exponentially. I don't feel like
February?
February.
Yeah. I think most people just say February.
Holy shit! What is this word?
I've never seen this word
Floxana
before.
nihilipus. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Floxanopsinification.
Floxanihilosuffocation.
Don't like
What?
that word.
The
The
longest
longest
technical
non-technical
word.
word in the
Yeah. It simply means the act of habit or establishing something as worthless. Wow, I didn't know there was a word named after me. That's cool. Ignominious. Isthmus.
ignominious.
Library. Why is library on this? Come on. Massachusetts.
It's
Often.
those double R sounds. Like, I think especially if you have a speech impediment, those are
Yeah,
probably really hard.
a lot of these words are like taught in school though. Like some of them aren't, like ornithological. Yeah. Oh, I even missed this one.
Phenomenon.
Phenomenon.
Rural, you know what? I struggle with rural
Rural.
sometimes.
Rural.
I feel like that's a word I can't say without it being a little southern.
Shanfrioda.
Let's see. Other Oh, I found a list of
Episcopalian.
252.
Sixth. Specific. Synecdoche. Temperature. Worcestershire.
See,
Like most
I
of
feel
those
like
I've
this
heard
list is
before,
better.
so it's like,
This one has rural at number 1, mischievous at
rural
number
is pretty
2,
interesting. Yeah.
colonel as number 3, which, yeah,
Which one?
colonel instead of colonel.
Oh, COL. Yeah.
Epitome,
Because you look at it and you're like, there's no R's in there. You're like, yes, but it's kernel.
epitome, hyperbole, nauseous. You know what? Nauseous is a word I can't fucking spell nauseous. Like, it takes me a minute every time. I always have to say, like, nauseous in my like, when I'm trying to spell it.
What? Why? If you're spelling it, sure, but if you're just saying it, I know how to say the word nauseous. Like,
Number 10 is Worcestershire sauce.
yeah, Worcestershire.
Yeah,
That one
you
I
remember when
can't
I
spell,
tried
but
to
I can
send
say
you
it. Yeah, you were like, I can't get it right, and I was like, I don't know, man.
my
I just
autocorrect
googled
wasn't,
it.
like, kicking in for it, and I was
I
like,
just
"You know what
googled
I
it and was
mean."
like, this is what it is.
This one has aberrant. They just put aberrant, though. I feel like it's aberrant. Accede, accessory, adamant, adumbrate, agoraphobia. It's a really long list, but, what made you look up those words anyways?
Nothing. I just saw the article. Do you know what's in Worcestershire sauce?
Do I wanna know?
'Cause well, I mean, probably not, but here it goes. It's a fermented condiment made from a base of vinegar and flavored with anchovies, molasses, tamarind, onion, garlic, and other seasonings.
It's always anchovies. It's always
Yeah,
fucking anchovies.
it's good though. I knew anchovies was in it. I didn't know it had molasses and tamarind in it though. That's pretty cool.
It's literally like every time somebody asks you if you wanna know what's in something, it's anchovies. Like Caesar salad dressing, it's anchovies.
That's not true. Ancient Roman toothpaste was just like rat feces. So, there, no
God,
anchovies. You're welcome.
you know what? Like, sometimes I'm like, "Oh, I wonder what it would have been like to have been alive back then instead of now," and I'm like, "Yeah,
Oh,
I'm good."
completely smelly. Yep. Terrible.
And I'm a woman, so,
Did
like,
you see? I saw that thing. It was like, how did anyone like reproduce way back then? You're like on button number 179, and you finally got all the layers off, and you're just like, what's this? You haven't bathed in over a week? Sign me up.
so it's like,
Like,
wouldn't you would, like, bathe for special occasions, and then didn't like, women used to carry around pockets full of, like, potpourri, like, little bags, so you
yeah,
couldn't smell, like,
yeah.
their breath and shit?
Mm-hmm. Breath, sweat. Like you used to have to carry around things that smelled decent so
Or
that
you
you
I think for, like, general body care that they'd use, like, a basin of water, you know?
right, right. But like bathing with soap, crazy. You're crazy if you think
Great invention,
natural
soap.
occurrence.
So happy that soap exists.
Soap is one of the oldest things in the world. Like, holy, what are you talking about?
No, I'm
When
just
was
saying,
soap
like
invented?
like soap is, you can make it naturally and stuff, but I just think soap is great. Like, and like,
Yeah,
hand
soap was
washing. Hand
invented at
washing was a great invention.
around 2800 BC in ancient Babylon. I think we've had soap for a while then. Like,
Babylon
we've
had it
had it
figured
for
out.
almost 5,000 years. They were like, you know what helps is if you a formula for making soap was written on a Sumerian clay tablet around 2500 BC. The soap was produced by heating a mixture of oil and wood ash, the earliest recorded chemical reaction, and using for washing woolen clothing. So yeah,
Nice. Good job,
we're
Sumerians.
just like if we make. They probably just thought it smelled good. To be honest, they were like, "Yeah, you mix some wood and some ash, you heat it up, and you put your clothes in it, and your stuff smells good for a while." And they were like, "Hey, you know what? Also, people are getting less sick. That's kind of interesting."
When did lye start being used?
When did what?
Lye, Lye.
Yeah. Mm, when was lye first used? Lye soap?
Mhm.
Lye soap first made. Lye soap first been made around 2000 BC. So
Yeah.
like 800 years later.
Damn, that's pretty good.
But lye as we know it was not created until the early 1800s.
Hmm. What's the difference?
I don't know.
It's interesting.
He synthesized a solution of sodium hydroxide, which is what we refer to as lye. Yeah, so mm, the Babylon's recipe for lye soap was what it's referring to, but the actual lye that we use is invented in the 1800s.
If you could go back in time to experience or do one thing, what would it be?
Can I like come back to the present after that,
Yeah,
or am I just going back in time?
you can come back.
Um, I don't know. I don't know where I would want to go. Do you know where you would want to go?
Ireland
For what and when? What?
in like the 1300s.
Ireland in the 1300s? Why? What's there?
I just want to see the world and like what it looked like before all of like modern architecture and buildings and things like that.
1300? That's what you're gonna go back to?
Yeah. Wasn't there like a
It's
huge
still
war
pretty
going on
modern.
back then?
Probably. Or a famine, one of the two.
All right. I think we did pretty good today.
Is that you saying you're done recording?
Yeah, I got to use the bathroom. Had a lot of coffee
We
today.
I don't know. You could always just go back to like Nordic times and go pillage.
Oh, that would be cool. And Viking women did
I
have
don't know that
rights.
you'd survive based off your earlier comment of I don't think I could kill anybody. But
I'm sure if I was raised in that culture though, but like being a single woman in like Viking era, they had full rights and everything. So that's pretty cool.
where you go to Sparta, go live in Spartan times. Women had
I don't think
rights.
I'd survive Sparta. They're
And
hardcore, man. I think I could be a
the
Greek
Vikings
lady.
weren't? What do you mean?
Okay, but the Vikings were
The
like they
Vikings
didn't.
sailed across oceans and discovered America. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but like Spartans like put their children out to die and like
Not females. They put the
and
male
then the
children out.
women. I mean, the women did completely run their government and everything.
That's what I'm saying. Like you were in power. The men were the ones that were like, you're gonna go out in the woods and you're gonna come back with the wolf, or the wolf's gonna have you. Those are the two options. I
Okay, I see what you're saying. I don't know. I would think
don't
about
know.
that one more. Maybe Jane Austen times.
Jane Austen.
Not a
Yeah,
lot of rights,
go to
but
the Renaissance.
beautiful.
That'd be fun. You get to wear like 80 layers in Venice. Boy, that humidity would be fun.
The golden era.
The golden nothing.
You gonna take us out?
Oh man, I found a picture. I think I've sent it to you before,
Of what?
and it's just like a little fun poke at Michelangelo, and it just says, "Yeah, of course I can paint your ceiling." Michelangelo scoffed himself. Gonna paint a bunch of dudes with their dicks out on it though.
It's biblical.
Yeah, it's so biblical. But I saw the other day that someone posted a picture and they're like, here's one of the only like 2 photographs from inside the Supreme Court taken like during session because it's illegal to take pictures during session, you know?
Mhm.
And someone like a few days later was just like, and I have the third picture ever. And they posted the picture and none of the Supreme Court justices were there. And everyone was like, you didn't get like fully grasp the concept of it, did you? Like you can go in and take pictures when they're not in session. That's not the illegal part. You can't take pictures when they're there. He's like,
Like,
oh.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
he's just so
buddy.
confident, was just like, I got a picture of it.
Look at me
You're like,
go.
yep, of a courtroom with barely anyone in it. Good job. Uh, but as soon as Ripley does the outro, we'll be good to
You
go.
do the outro.
Wow, you see this hostility? This is what I'm
Oh my
talking about.
gosh.
That's why we're going to Starbucks later.
Oh my god, we are not getting broken up.
Yeah. Send out. We
Okay, that's gonna do it for today's episode of Mindless Prattle. If you like what you heard, or if you didn't, leave us a comment, a review, a complaint,
complaint, please.
complaint,
I'll take one. Thank you.
queries, ponderies, conundrums, whatever you want to. We have 2 5-star ratings on Spotify now, so that's cool. But
Heck yeah. We're
thank you guys
halfway
for
to a bistro.
listening. Check us out on Twitter, Twitch, whatever you like.
You don't even stream on Twitch anymore. You stream on Kick.
On Kick, I'm gonna stream like this month.
This month. You heard it here. Just clear your calendar for November. Ripley's got one stream planned.
I've got a lot going on.
Yep, one stream, November stream.
Okay, that's gonna do it for today. Thank you guys for listening. Bye.